Become the individual you always needed. Become the light you always sought. Understand that you can either be the individual that transgresses and regresses themselves through inferior tendencies, or you can become and evolve into the individual you always needed. Now, growth is key, and you need to grow into the person that you always needed. You need to create an individual that's unstoppable. You need to manifest an individual, not a car. You need to manifest that optimized, fully efficient, thriving for excellence individual, and don't go against your own best interest because of your self-interest. Most of you regress yourself because you're interested in yourself instead of the best outcome for yourself. It's like you guys are so focused on destroying to feel instead of building to have, and building to truly feel deep within the power that you gain from building your future from scratch. You need to become that individual who you always needed. When you were going through tough times in your life and you felt like you needed someone to be there for you, you need to become that individual, and you need to be there for yourself. You, as a man, you need to grow up, and you need to understand that you either become the light or you gonna stay in the dark. And that's man to man. It's true. Like, you are the light of the world. I quote that from the Bible. You either become the light of the world or you stay shrouded in darkness. Now, you can become a man and you can become the light with your sword and your torch, or you can stay an inferior bitch, regressing with inferior tendencies instead of becoming a superman, superb, super individual, and thriving for excellence in every human endeavor that you decide to take on, because that's just who you are and that's what you want to do. So that's who you are and that's what you want to do. You become the absolute best at it, and you thrive for excellence day in, day out, nonstop. And that's the recipe for life. Your habits create the individual that you are. If you can't optimize yourself with fully efficient habits that are providing the outcome that you want, deep down truly need within you, then you're self-sabotaging yourself, and you're giving in to regressional inferior tendencies, inferior tendencies. Now, you can either grow the fuck up and become a man, become the light you always needed, or you can stay in the dark and stay a bitch with your inferior tendencies that will regress you into the polarity of what you should have became in your life. You only live once. Now, you can optimize your life to be fully efficient and thrive for excellence day in, day out, or you can remain and ingrain yourself with inferior habits. So, you either become the light that you need to be, or you stay shrouded in the darkness. As a man, you should be making the hard choice, which is to spark yourself and become the light, the flame. Now, fire burns. You should know how to cool yourself and adapt the spirit of water. You should be able to go from cup to bowl and not reform, or you should be able to take on form from form. You should be able to go through life like water. You can put water in a cup, and that same water that's in the cup you can put in a bowl, and it won't change shape. It simply forms around whatever it dwells within. So as water, as your spirit, you are the spirit of water. You need to adapt that mindset, and you need to be able to be flexible and unbendable and unbreakable in every situation. You need to maximize yourself in every single human endeavor, and you need to become the best and thrive for excellence. If you are not, you're going to remain the same inferior piece of shit that you've been being because you chose to be that. So you literally need to thrive for excellence, become the best version of yourself all the time, day in, day out. And when you regress yourself, you become aware of that, and then you make up for it and compensate. It's called self-reliance. It's called self-responsibility or respondability in life. That's what you need most. If you don't have that, you won't have shit. You remain the same piece of shit that you are. So you need responsibility to grow up and essentially expand your own consciousness to the point where you gain everything you always needed and wanted. So, yeah. Either remain the same inferior piece of shit or thrive for excellence and become the best version of yourself. I mean, it's that simple. It's like it's no other explanation to life. Like, that's the recipe for life, is you thrive for excellence and become the best version of yourself, or remain and ingrain yourself with the piece of shit tendencies, inferior tendencies that you digress yourself and regress into forming because you are too lazy and inadequate to become aware of your own self-debilitating habits that you perpetually seek and choose to do when you have free time. I mean, time is money. Time is more than money. Your time is very valuable. Now, you can waste your time and stay the lowest version of yourself, or you can expand, invest, and become the highest form of your evolution. You can become the highest version of who you are. Most people rather digress and regress and stay the same piece of shit that they always been, instead of make the hard choice and see how deep they can dig for the goal that they truly seek. Now, you need to be the flame, or you will go out. Wind will put you out if you don't have a flame. So you need to have that flame within, and you need to be very adequate. You need to be very self-optimized, not self-compromised, self-optimized. You should always be fully functioning and optimized for your best interest, not your self-interest. You shouldn't be regressing because you want to smoke, you want to drink, you want to party, you want to have fun, you want to have sex, you want to regress. That's what you want to do. If we zoom out from what you want to do and then we put what you're doing in context, all you're doing is regressing yourself. You don't want to vape. When we pull out of your feeling and just see what you're doing and put it in context, you don't want to vape. You want to lose, and you want to invest in your self-interest and regress in your life. That's what you want to do. You don't want to do none of that. You want to regress and de-evolve yourself for your self-interest. Now, you can work with your best interest or self-interest. That's your choice. But what I'm trying to tell you is, when you work against yourself, don't be expecting shit from yourself. Like, there's so many mediocre individuals who just don't thrive for excellence, don't thrive to be and become who they need to be in life. And the reason they do that is because they compromise their best interest for their self-interest. And now you can be the individual that doesn't compromise, or you can be the individual that chooses to become and evolve and truly expand their consciousness in this lifetime. Now, you live once. You will either fail and you will just remain a bitch, or you won't fail and you'll just max out every fucking stat. You'll become the embodiment of Maximus. You'll be your most optimized self. You'll become the magnus opus. The door will open. You'll have options. You'll be able to have what you want. It's like, bro, either be the best version of yourself or remain and ingrain that same piece of shit habits that you have and remain the same motherfucker. I mean, a man is as he thinketh, and if you're not thinking what you need to be thinking for your best interest, then you will go against your best interest for your self-interest, because it's you versus you, me versus me, and you choose who's gonna win. Now, there will be moments where it's inevitable, but success is persistence through what you believe is not possible. You persist through failure. You persist through trial and error, not just trial. You will come to stops, but it's up to you to pick up the fucking weight and to keep going. And once you master that, you'll be fine. When you have a dip, you pull out. Like, literally, when you have a dip, you pull out of yourself, and then you understand, you bring back whatever makes you feel comfortable, or, well, not comfortable, but not a piece of shit, and then you get back to work. I mean, that's what life really is. So, yeah, become the light you always needed.